Welcome to Franchise Empires.
So back to you and Josh. For folks who don't know, Monster Tree Service, super successful franchise. I know it grew to 200 plus territories by the time Josh, I think, it got acquired. But yeah, so were you part of that team early, or was it later in the journey?
So Josh when we met, he had just went through this period of time where he had awarded some locations, and he has a great story behind it where he would say, "Hey, I sold a half-baked cake. I didn't know enough about being a franchisor.
Yeah,
I didn't have the support. It was me and one guy." And so he paused development for 2 years. He went and hired a bunch of staff, built a corporate office, and he was going all in on basically, if we build it, they will come type mentality. And right before we launched, that's where we met, and we met in a pool in Cancun, believe it or not, at a franchise conference. And we basically started off the journey together. And I still remember we got, from a franchise development standpoint, we got no leads, not a single one for 30 days. And I told Josh, I was like, well, I'm not giving up. So I made a list of every franchise consultant in the country. And I essentially called every single one until we got complaints about harassment. And we put that business on in 2 years. I mean, we ordered over 200 locations in, I think, the next 2 year period. And then we're very fortunate to have Authority Brands acquire that concept. Incredible.
And so I'm assuming, right, there was a lot of maybe things you learned from Monster Tree that you decided, hey, like because I'm looking at the brands on Horsepower's website, Mighty Dog Roofing, Blingle Lighting, Heroes Lawn Care, Stan's Drunk Fencing, like all kind of in this home services category. So yeah, what was, go on.
Yeah. So we during that process, we were lucky enough to acquire Redbox Plus, which was a roll-off dumpster concept with a restroom patent.
Yep.
And so and when we did the acquisition there, I think that one had 5 locations and we awarded 300 in 3 years. Now, if you met Josh and I in person or hung out with us, we're blue collar. You'll never see us wear a suit and tie. We'd probably rather turn a wrench or work equipment than sit behind a computer. So home services is, that's where we belong. I mean, we're wired that way, where we enjoy that type of the business. We have a good understanding of equipment, integrating software with home services, the homeowner experience. And, that's really, I think, our specialty. But I think one of the things that we took from Monster Tree Service was, and especially to our horsepower business, is the ability to find great people is something that if a franchisor can do that to help franchisees find better people without exposing themselves to joint employer liability, you'll have a lot more success. And at Horsepower, we invested in our own recruiting company, built it as a third party so that there's no joint employer liability that helps franchisees find their people at a fraction of what anybody else could do it for because we own the brand. So it's really a pass-through cost. And that's something that we took from Monster Tree because, when Authority Brands acquired that concept, they got rid of that department entirely because of the liability, and the franchisees really suffer.
Oh, so you guys help franchisees find, like, if it's, Mighty Dog Roofing or Heroes Lawn Care, you're helping them find the people who actually mow the lawns or do help with the gutter cleaning for Mighty Dog, that kind of recruiting?
Let's just say people want you to find a sales rep, and that's a $50,000 to $90,000 position. I mean, they'll basically place the ad, write all the copy, vet the candidates, and then decide to narrow it down, and then schedule them with the franchisee for, I think, around $1,000 or $1,500. Like unheard of costs.
Yeah.